The next thing we want to do is we want to calculate the average for a number of different cells within a table. In this case, we want to calculate the average in each one of the quarters for each one of these regions. Before we do that, we have to identify the cells that we would like to only consider. Cells in a table are labeled either by their column location and their row location. So in this case, all columns are labeled by letters. This is column A, column B, column C, column D, and so on. All rows are numbered, and so this is row 1, 2, 3, and so on. In doing so then, we only want Word to consider looking at, in this case, column B and row 2. We also want it to consider only looking at these sets of numbers. So that's column B, row 2, through to column B, row 5. So B2 through to B5, just those numbers. In doing so then, what I need to do is click once in the word average, go up to the word formula, and take a look at what the formula is. We want to start with the equal sign, but instead of adding those numbers, we want it to average those numbers. And I took the time to tell you what those cell names were because we want Word to only identify B2, and then the symbol we use for it to suggest all consecutive numbers after that is the colon sign through to B5. We make sure that it ends with a parentheses. We select the way we would like those numbers to be illustrated, and we click on OK. We do the same thing for the second quarter. We know now that we're in column C, and we want to identify only those numbers from C2 to C5. So we select the average cell that's empty, we go over to formula, we select the word sum, we delete it, we type in the word average, and it's this case C2 through to C5. Make sure that it ends in parentheses, check to make sure that the formatting is the one you want, and press OK. You continue to do that for both the third, fourth, and the total quarter if you wanted to also find out the average for each one of these totals. To create a formula for the average in the top column, or the top table that is, you have to make sure you're in the right cell as well. So this is cell 1, so that is A1, this is A2, and then this is going to be B3, and this will be B4 because we are in column B and we are on the fourth row. What we want to do is we only want Word to identify B4 through to B10. We do not want it to consider the total cell. So I click once in the word average, we go over to the word formula, we again change this word from average or from sum to average, and we type in B4 to B10, making sure that it ends with a parentheses. We select the number format that we want, and we click on OK. What we get then is just the average number of sales for these cells only. You do the same thing for the empty cell in sales of 2011.